If you're anything like me, you love illustration rares. Sure, Vs, VMAXs, GXs, even common cards can look really cool in their own right, but as someone who likes to grade and display their cards, nothing hits home like a good old illustration rare. With that in mind, I was watching LuckyJ open up some Journey Together, and he said this.
Holy, some cards I look at, right? How did this become a common art? Why isn't this a whole entire card, like an AR? Or an SIR, you know?
So that's why in this video we are going to turn common cards into art rares. And what better card to start with than the Aselgor from Journey Together that Jay pulled in his video. So Jay pulled this Aselgor from Journey Together, and I see what he means. This card looks sick and it would look amazing as an art rare. The illustrator is Kazumasa Yasukuni. I think I nailed that. If, like me, you don't recognize the name, you'll probably recognize the other cards that they've done, such as the Iron Hands from Prismatic Evolutions, and the Stellar Crown Zeraora Full Art, which is still one of my favorite cards to this day. But going back to the Aselgor, if it was a full art, I think it would look something like this. Just for transparency, we have used AI to extend the background, but then most of the other work, such as the leaves, the bushes, the zooms, were all done in Photoshop, so, you know, just want to be transparent about that bit. I think this card looks phenomenal. I think Jay was spot on when he said it deserves an art rare, and if I pulled this, I would be very, very happy. If by some miracle Jay is actually watching this, then I hope I did you proud, I hope it's what you had in mind, and I apologize that you can't get this card because it doesn't exist. Ariados is one of my favorite bug types. It's one of my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon in general, but it's fucking dead. It's so underappreciated, and it has such a good design. It had a trainer gallery in the Sword and Shield era, but what if it had an illustration rare in the Scarlet and Violet era? I looked for its card list, and I found this card from Lost Origin, which I really, really liked. The illustrator is Shinji... what is it? Shinji Kanda, which I did know because he's a very prolific artist in the Pokemon community. He's done things like the Magikarp from Paldea Evolved, the Giratina from Lost Origin, he's done, what else has he done? The Magneton promo from the Surgeon Spark CTB, he's done the Roaring Moon from Prismatic Evolutions. He's done, like, everything. Given his amazing track record, I don't doubt that he could do an amazing job with the full art for the Ariados, but we're going to focus on this artwork, and I think it would look a bit like this. So we've extended out the background, but I wanted to make it look like the Ariados was up against like a rippling waterfront. I feel like the waterfront effect can fill out the card a lot easier and also make the text easy to read since the image behind the text is blurred. I think it looks really cool. I think this is probably going to be one of my favorites that I make this video. Again, if I pulled it, absolutely ecstatic. It's getting graded, it's getting put on the shelf. From one of the most underrated bugs to one of the most popular, and the reason we're doing Scyther is because its card selection is shit. Okay, maybe shit is a bit harsh, there are some cool looking cards, but if you want illustration rares or art rares, there's nothing that really ticks the box in Scyther's card decks. Both Kleavor and Scizor have had the full art treatment, just not Scyther, so why not fix that? I was looking through the list of cards, and one that caught my eye was the Temporal Forces Cypher by DSUKE. So they have done a full art before in the form of the Stellar Crown Milcery, or Milcery, depending on how you say it, but the Aggron card from Twilight Masquerade that they did really caught my eye because of its use of dot work shading and like the scratchy line shading. I really like this art, and if I do a follow-up to this video, I might have to consider that one. But alas, this is not Aggron's time to shine. This is about Scyther, and I feel like this card, if it was a full art, it would look something like this. I really like this card. It's everything that I want from a Scyther. It's quick, it's powerful, it's sharp, but I think this looks very much at home in between the Scizor and the Kleavor card. I've upped the contrast a tiny bit to make it pop, and yeah, I would be very happy to pull it.
I can't move it anymore. What is?
I didn't really realize how bug heavy this video was going to be. It wasn't intentional, but I really want to include Metapod because I do have a card in mind already, and it is this one. As soon as I pulled this card from Journey Together, I just fell in love with it. I just love the use of geometry. I love how the Metapod just slips in between the shapes. It's everything a Pokemon card should be. It's cool, it's nice to look at, and it's very stylistic. Now the illustrator OKUBO, it does appear that they've done a few full arts in the past. They've done the Iron Crown EX from Prismatic Evolutions, the Arbok from Temporal Forces, and also the Crustal from Paradox Rift, all of which look really cool. I think in terms of the Metapod, it's really obvious what we need to do. We just need to continue that geometry to fill up the entire card, which would look something like this. I'm pretty sure we all had an image in our head what it looked like, and it was something like that. It looks really cool. Exactly what I thought. I want it. I can't have it. It doesn't exist. But I want it. When's the last time you realistically heard of something exciting to do with Seal? Just nothing seems to happen for this little Pokemon. It's just completely forgotten, even more so than Ariados. It just needs a regional form, it needs a Mega for Dugong. Dugong just needs to evolve in general, but all I can really offer it is a full art at this moment in time, so we're going to crack on with that. I looked through the card decks and I'm pretty sure it's never had a full art. I might be wrong, please correct me in the comments if it has, but I don't think it has. I can't see one. But what I did see is this Unbroken Bonds card, which I really like the look of, and I think it will lend itself well to a full art. The illustrator is Sumiyoshi Kizuki. That was easier to pronounce than it looked. So they have 221 cards to their name, so I don't know if they've done any full arts as of yet, but they have an extensive history of Pokemon card illustrations going back all the way to like Gym Challenge, Gym Heroes, Neo Genesis, Team Rocket. They even did the Swastika Golbat, so that's pretty cool. That's like a claim to fame, I guess. But we're going to focus on this Seal because I think it would lend itself very well to a full art, and I think the full art would look something like this. So we've had quite a few underwater ocean-based full arts in the past, and I had no doubt in my mind that this was going to look pretty good. It reminds me of kind of like a 151 full art. I don't really know why. Something about it just screams 151 set to me. I don't know, but hopefully you like it.
I don't even know what a Charizard does.
So the original plan was to do a Charizard card because it would look good in the thumbnail, get more clicks, but at the same time, do we really need another Charizard card? I mean, we could probably stop making Charizard cards altogether and still have enough to see us through until this TCG dies. Judging by the recent state of affairs, I think it's going to be in the very, very near future. But we're not here to talk about scalpers or scammers, we're here to talk about Charmeleon. Because although Charizard is massively overrated, I feel like Charmeleon is massively underappreciated. Other than maybe Bayleaf and Grovyle, people unanimously seem to agree that the middle stage starters look very awkward, and I can't look at Prinplup and disagree. But in terms of being a middle stage evolution, I think Charmeleon is the perfect transitional Pokemon between Charmander and what's his name? Charizard. It looks halfway between a Charizard and a Charmander. It looks aggressive, it's got personality. I love it as a Pokemon. Something else that I love is this Charmeleon from Paldean Fates illustrated by Tonji Matsuno. Oh, I'm getting good at this. This is character development in a YouTube video, what? So they do have a couple of full arts underneath their belt already. They have the Iron Fawns promo and also the Yanmega EX from Destined Rivals. However, if this Charmeleon was a full art, it would look something like this. So with this one, I zoomed into the Charmeleon a bit just to make it bigger in the frame, and I've also added a puddle at the bottom because I feel like reflections are easy and they just make it look really cool. I think I would be extremely happy to pull this one. Sure, it isn't a Charizard card, but I think it looks just as good, and plus, Charizard is overrated anyway. So for the final card, I was inspired by the Pikachu base set that was turned into the full art card. So I started to think about some of the Wizards of the Coast cards that I would like to see get the same treatment as the Pikachu, and my most nostalgic card is personally the Rhydon from Jungle. But before we get into the card, we obviously need to credit the illustrator, who in this case is Kagemaru Himeno. As you can imagine, since they illustrated the Jungle Rhydon card, they've been illustrating for a while and have 652 cards to their name. A lot of their notable modern cards are things like the Baby Shinies, but they also did things like the Dark Gyarados and also the Birthday Pikachu, which is one of my favorite cards. But going back to the Rhydon, this is what I think the full art would look like, and it looks clean. It's exactly what I had in my head, and I'm so happy with the way it came out, and I'm really bummed that I can't have it because it doesn't exist. I might even have to try and make these in real life because I really want it. I really want it. So these are all the cards that we made in this video. Comment down below what your favorite is and let me know if there are any common cards that you would like to see turned into a full art. Check out Jay's video down below in the description, but that's all I got for you, so bye.